Okay, I'd like to do kind of a traditional comedy bit for you now. You know, sometimes I do the far out, and sometimes I do the traditional, but I like the traditional, so we have the traditional on one hand, the far out on the other. We have the kind of the both for the whole thing. So this is the old sound effects routine. This is where I tell a little story and sort of make it come to life through the use of sound effects. Now, if you use your imagination on this and close your eyes, I think you're going to be able to imagine that you're sitting in a room somewhere watching television. So here we go, the sound effects routine. This is done totally with my own voice. There's no gimmicks or anything like that. So here we go. Well, I woke up this morning and had a bowl of cornflakes. Then I went down and started up the car. But fortunately, the atom bomb went off. I can do any sound.
I know you're all familiar with the Top 40, a list of the top 40 most played, most requested, and most performed hit songs. For those of you who don't know, or even care, we'd like to salute those songs you may have forgotten because you never heard them. Ladies and gentlemen, the bottom 4. This month's least played, least requested, and least performed song. In 4th place with a cannonball, which means dropping fast. I'd meet you on top of Old Smoky, but you're already over the hill. In 3rd place in our bottom 4, but slipping down the losers, number 3, I had to leave my little topless dancer. It was a terrible surprise. The doctor said watching her tassels twirl was damaging my eye. In 2nd place, and fighting it out for the worst of the worst, I left my sugar in Nashville, so I'm getting my lumps by mail. And last but least, loser number 1, that never remembered ballad, I don't know where you are at times. I don't know where you go. If I'd know that you'd have wanted to have went with me, I'd have seen that you'd have got to get to go.
The young, inventive comic, Steve Martin.
You know, whenever people see the 5-string banjo nowadays, they all want to hear Dueling Banjos. Now, it's very hard to play. I want to satisfy the audience. They want to hear Dueling Banjos, but it's very hard to play it with just one banjo. So what I've done is I've worked out a special arrangement of Dueling Banjos for one instrument, and it's pretty exciting. I'd like to do it for you. So here we go, Dueling Banjos for one banjo. Juggling. Now, I realize a lot of you people are sitting out there saying to yourselves, oh, I bet he can't juggle. All right. Start with the easy stuff. First of all, I juggle 1. Thank you. Now, all right. Now 2. Here we go. You're not laughing now. Now, 3. Hey, That's a $5,000 mic. Okay. Well, that was cute. Let's see. And now it's time for the napkin trick. Hit it, boys. All right. Remember this tune? Sure you do. But do you know where it's really from? It's really an excerpt from this classical favorite. And do you remember the great sound from the 50s, 60s, and early 70s? Sounds like... And if that didn't depress you, how about this one? Yes, that was the music you danced to, romance to. Well, now, all these fabulous hits of yesteryear can be yours in a fantastic free record set. 352 golden oldies for the low, low price of $3.45. You heard it right. All these hits and more for only $4.35. Boy, they don't write them like that anymore. Real gone, but not forgotten. All 300 songs, guaranteed gold, and here they are, right here. I know what you're saying. You're saying, Steve, how can you get all those hits on one little bitty record? Well, we force them on. No, we don't use widths. The secret is in these cute little micro grooves and the record speed. This record isn't a 78 RPM or a 45 or a 33 1/3. This record plays at 1 revolution per minute. And it's a family record. You'll hear the Doobie Brothers, the Isley Brothers, the Statler Brothers, the Dr. Joyce Brothers. You'll hear the big money makers like Gladys Knight and the Pips, Doris Day and the Hooks, Charlie Bird and the Peeps, Blue Ribbon and the Paps, Arthur Feature and the Pops, and the Vatican Choir and the Popes. They're all here just in $4.35. Check stamps, money orders, personal checks, IOUs. We'll take anything. Please just send your money to Post Office Box 200, Tijuana, Mexico, and be sure to enclose your address and $2 to cover the cost of profit. And even if you don't like the music, you'll find the record great in the kitchen. That's right, it slices, dices, chops, lops, curls, and even whirls. That's right, you can make your own salad at home just like a professional chef. And for those of you who are too young to remember the 50s, you can always use it as a Frisbee.
You know what, June? I've been a big fan of yours since I was a little boy, just about that tall, as long as I can remember. I've been a big fan of yours.
Well,
I was out there listening when you were on the radio with the original Carter family. I was listening.
There.
You sure
That's
were.
a lot of years ago, though, John. I was there telling Anita. Did you really listen?
When you were a little girl, yeah, I was listening. You doing those radio shows on the Mexican border stations, all those transcriptions? That was a time before they had the FCC rules on the power for the stations. You know, those stations were so powerful. You could sit down by a barbed wire fence in Texas and hear the Carter family singing over the barbed wire.
That's the truth. He's trying to tell you that I'm older than he is.
Oh, that don't matter.
And I really am. I really am a little bit older than Johnny Cash. Actually, I'm 2 years and just a few days older than Johnny Cash, but I deserve to be. Because by the time you came into my life, there was so many miles on you, there's no way I'll ever catch up with you.
You know, it seems like every television host is always introducing his old friends. Makes me wonder if they ever make any new friends. Well, I know I did on this show, and I'd like you to meet him. He now lives in Colorado. Please make welcome Steve Martin.
Thank you very much. See, folks, what I'm doing, this is not a Vegas show, you know, this is the Grand Ole Opry, you know. I mean, it's... and it's free to get in. In Vegas, it's $20 to get in. You know, it's worth it because it's so entertaining. You know, they have 1 million people on stage, and they have singers and dancers, and you're so entertained. And the opening act is always like a pop singer. and he's really great, and he really keeps it moving, but you can't understand a word he says because he's going so fast, you know. They introduce him, and they go, and now, ladies and gentlemen, the Priebus Hotel is proud to introduce Johnny Duke. Let's bring him out. Hey, thank you very much. Beautiful time, Las Vegas matter. Okay, welcome to the show. Curtain up, blind the light. We got nothing to hit but nights. Thank you. And now, beautiful time. I like to do a couple of gambling jokes for you. Here we go. Gambling. Okay, because I've gotta be me. I've gotta be me. Whatever's what I am. Okay, thank you very much. Good time, Las Vegas. Okay, Sammy Davis Jr., personal friend of mine. All right. Now I'd like to do a little dancing for you. Here we go. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I'd like to introduce the band. Biff, Tom, Jack, hey, Ted. Okay, because the hills are alive with the sound of music. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. You've been my time here is growing short. You've been a great audience, really, and I do mean that. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming by. Thank you. Thank you. You, and thank you. You, and thank you. I hate doing this. Thank you. So thank you very much. Good night. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Steve Martin, and I'd like to talk to you seriously just for a moment. Why don't you come in just a little bit closer? Well, not that close. You can just go back a little. Well, come on back. Just that. No, it doesn't matter. Let me ask you something. Are you the kind of person who gets easily upset when someone dumps a bucket of paint on your head? I sympathize with you. I used to feel the same way. But I found something to help me. It's the Johnny Cash Show. It only takes an hour to watch, and it makes me feel great all week. You know, each show has the maximum daily requirement of enjoyment allowed by law.
And that's not very much in today's society, is it? After all.
Excuse me. Each show contains 50% music, 30% laughter, 25% singing, 12% jokes, 28% entertainment, 14% humor, 7% commercials, 19% instrumentals. What are we up to, about 95%? And, of course, 5%, filler. Just filler. That's what I'm looking for. You know, I used to be morose, depressed, and antisocial, and I hated it. And now, after watching just one Johnny Cash show, I enjoy being morose, depressed, and antisocial. And you can too. How do I spell relief? R-E-L-I-E-F.